I just heard David Hawkins is really good to listen to. He's talking about communists and the one-child policy and how,
I don't know, were thrown away.
I don't know if he was saying that they're kind of gullible or what, but I would say that communists are racist. Here's Al Jolson. If you take a look at him, Al Jolson, like, what was so great about Al Jolson? Oh, hey, down upon the swan. The only thing I know about Al Jolson is the cartoons. But he was always in blackface. But when you look at his history and all of the people that love Al Jolson, including all the Hollywood wives that love to go in blackface before, now they're hiding it. But he was Jewish. And they loved this blackface thing, but the communists did, like back, look at how long this is. Eddie Fisher says, on a tour of the Soviet Union, his then wife Elizabeth Taylor, who converted, Fisher wrote in his autobiography that Khrushchev's mistress asked me to sing. I was the first American to be invited to sing in the Kremlin since Paul Robeson, who we know now was Jewish or was threatened to be very communist. Paul Robeson. The next day, Herald Tribune headlines read, Eddie Fisher rocks the Kremlin. I gave them my best Jolson, Swanee, April Showers, and Rockabye. I had the audience of Russian diplomats and dignitaries on their feet swaying with me. So when you're talking about Russians, these are not the Christian Russians. These are the communist Jewish Russians, because all of the communists, about 80% of them are Jewish, including Marx and Lenin and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like the label thing nowadays. It's like, now Chinese, you're not really a Chinese unless you're a communist Mandarin speaking, and yet we don't know anything about that in North America. We are only exposed to the ho-hos and the wongs and the keys, and those were the, but see, they don't like peasants. They like to make fun of peasants. That's the whole point. Fisher designated a smash song. So what communists like to do is they love to patronize you and clap, 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 oh, you peasant. Like, when they're not killing you, they're dressing up like you and having a grand old time putting on the blackface. You can't deny this, that they are the original, the communists are the original racist. Communism is racism. There are many other parallels with communism, but that is definitely one of them. And yet they project and call everybody else who is in a patriarchal society, who really doesn't really, they mind their own business, but communists don't mind their own business. You see, their whole thing is to have a permanent revolution and to keep spreading like a cancer. So they're always minding other people's business, whereas they're calling everybody else a racist, or just because they want to preserve their heritage. You understand? So Paul Robeson, Al Jolson, blackface, Jewish and communist, etc. These all have a very strong link. You better get your acting gear and learn about this, because this is the Judy Blume books in your kid's school. She's Jewish, and she's also you know, she doesn't mention a book without, you know, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, and UNICEF, and being a loser, an outsider, a fellow traveler, a vagabond, wayfarer. Like, fellow traveler means like, oh, you know, we travel the world, and we are the 1,000 points of light. It takes one commie to recruit 1,000 commies. That was in the movie that Howard Hughes, it took 13 directors for him to get it done. It was called The Woman on Pier 13. And it was all about communists that had infiltrated the unions, and how they were deadly, and how sneaky they were by saying, oh, you know, you go to these secret wink wink nod nod meetings, and they say, well, it takes one communist to make or comrade, meaning friend, you know, hey, my friend, to make 1,000. You see, that's where Bushy said 1,000 points of light.